Well, good morning guys and ladies. It is January the 30th and we had our coldest night we've had this year. We had a hard freeze last night, got down below 30 degrees, and it's supposed to be windy today. It's gonna get to blowing, but I came out here on Lake Talquin this morning and I am going to look around, see if I can find some crappie on this lake this morning. We're gonna start off right here by the boat ramp in the channel and see what we see, and see if we can get a little bit of open water lake fishing done this morning before that wind gets up. Once that wind gets up, we might even go up in the creek and try to get out of that wind and see if there's any fish up in that creek. So you guys hang with me and let's see what we can find this morning. There he is. There he is, guys. I tell you what, I put the latest update on my Garmin yesterday. It's supposed to have all these cool new features that everybody just loves. And I tell you what, guys, so far, my picture is not as clear as it was before I did that update. So I'm gonna have to play with that some today. Alright guys, we're going to try a little small 2-inch ATX jigs wicked shad in a bluegrass color. Let's see if that works. There he is. There we go, guys. Downsized a little bit and just hung it right above his head. Not a monster yet. We ain't got into the great big crappie, but it's a good start for the day. Just goes to show how sometimes, guys, you just gotta try different things until you see what they want. Alright, so we definitely figured out how to catch them, guys. Now we're just gonna have to find some of them big ones. But right now, I'm having fun. The wind's gonna get up here shortly. I don't have time to look around the lake a whole lot, so I'm gonna enjoy catching what we can catch. There's a better crappie, guys. Heck yeah. That's what we talking about there. Liking this little small jig this morning. A little 2-inch wicked shad. There he is. Oh yeah, here we go. There we go, guys. That's what we're looking for out here on Lake Talquin. Big old stud, thick, beautiful, beautiful crappie. There he is. Oh yeah. There, baby. There we go, guys. Another nice big Lake Talquin stud crappie on the 12-footer with the little 2-inch wicked shad and an 1/8 ounce jig head. Nice, pretty crappie. There, big boy. Oh yeah, another nice big old fat crappie. Heck yeah. There you go, guys. Another big old thick, look how pregnant that fish is, getting ready to spawn. Beautiful crappie. So guys and ladies, my first impression is although there's a lot of hype on YouTube about these new Garmin settings, guys, if I was you, I wouldn't do it yet. I think people jumped the gun. I put my updates in there. I like to have my latest update. But guys, my image is just not as clear as it used to be. I didn't mess with any of the settings, and now I'm having to tinker with all the settings, and it's just not as clear. I don't know what they changed and how it's affected it. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually, but the fish just are not as detailed as they were before I ran that update. Before I ran that update, I never had to touch my unit. I had beautiful clear pictures. You could see the fins on the fish. Now these pound-plus crappie are barely showing up at times, and they're just not as clear a picture, guys. So, you know, don't believe all the hype. If you're going to update your Garmin, think it through carefully. I would suggest you wait a little bit and see what kind of reaction people have as they're doing it, and figure out what kind of settings actually have to be on there to get the picture back that you had. Because I can tell you, so far this morning, I'm pretty disappointed. I can see my jig pretty good, but the fish just aren't as detailed as they were. And if I get some live scope footage today, guys, you guys will see that. You can see the fish, but they're just blocky chunks of return. They're not the nice clean shapes. You know, I used to could see the fins of the fish better, and it's just not as clear as it was, guys. So take that with a grain of salt, but that's my first impression. There he is. Nice eating size crappie. Heck yeah. Alright, guys, so I went through and I turned everything I could find off. And maybe I'm getting my picture back just a little bit. Another nice crappie. Turn TVG off, noise reject off, that new color highlight off. Just turned it all off, and I think I'm starting to see a little bit better. We'll see how it works. Little fish right up there. Jig, boy. There it is. I got one of them catching. There he is. Oh yeah. Oh baby. Man, that's a fighter there. There we go, guys. That wind's starting to pick up. It's about to run me off this lake. Just another nice stud. Lake Talquin crappie out here in open water. So with all those settings turned off that came on the new update, I believe I have gotten back where I can see the crappie pretty good, but I still have a blind spot where they're disappearing on me. My jig's disappearing on me. You guys will probably see it on my live scope when we're trying to get some live scope footage, but at least I'm seeing them out there in front of me now. There he is. Another nice crappie. Oh yes sir. That's a stud there. These jokers out here on Talquin, guys, are getting thick and fat. Look how thick that fish is. Look at that big old belly on that fish. Nice. That's a 1.5 pound crappie right there. Heck yeah. There he is. Like a stud there. Oh my goodness, guys. He looks like a monster. He is a monster. Oh yes, sir. Oh my gosh. Look at that big old stud crappie, guys. That big old rascal. Pregnant as it can be. Let's weigh that fish, guys. Let's get a weight on one. That's 2 pounds. That's 2 pounds, 2 ounces. Just a nice big stud. Look at there. These fish are ready to spawn. Look how fat that is. Heck yeah, guys. Oh my goodness. It is that time of year. This is the time of year you can catch these big monsters. There he is. Another stud. Oh my goodness gracious. Another big old stud crappie, guys. Look at that big old rascal. Man. This is what you come out here on Lake Talquin to catch. It's gonna be right at 2 pounds. Not quite as fat as the other one. This fish almost looks like it's spawned. Maybe it's just not ready yet, but Another just beautiful big stud crappie. And guys, I started out with that 2-inch baby shad, and I did catch one or two little fish on it, but they just weren't hitting it great. So I actually went to that little tiny 2-inch wicked shad. I don't have these in the pumpkin seed green. If I had the pumpkin seed green, I'm sure they would have bit that just as good, but I did have a pack of the bluegrass color, and that was working really good this morning as well. Kyle at ATX makes those. Normally you see me throwing a 2 1/4 inch wicked shad, but after that major cold front last night, these fish just seemed like they wanted something smaller, and that's doing the trick, guys. That is definitely catching them. But I hope you guys are watching this, and we're gonna stop fishing out here on the main lake. This wind's picking up. It's supposed to get up to about 14 miles an hour, blowing all the way down the lake, so it's gonna be white capping here in a few minutes. But guys, I'm gonna head up into the creek right now, and we're gonna see if there's any fish up in the creek. So hang with me, and let's go run do that real quick. All right, somebody asked me to show what crappie look like in the creek. Can you see those little shadows right there and little white dots right there? It's really hard to see. You can see the shadows, but guys, that's crappie in a creek right there. That's what I look for when I'm going through these creeks. We'll ease along here and see if we see some more. So guys, it started white capping out there on the lake, and even though there's some giant crappie out there on Lake Talquin this time of year, this is the time of year if you want to get, if you're into catching big giant stud crappie, this is the time of year to be out there on the lake in that river channel looking for those big studs. But you know, when that wind gets up, it's out of the southwest like it is today, it blows the length of that lake, and it has ran me off that lake. So I came up here in the creek just to see. All right guys, see right here, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? That's a big old wad of crappie right there. You see all the little shadows right there they're making? That's all crappie. So there are some crappie in this creek, so we're gonna get out, we're gonna chase these crappie in this creek around a little bit now that we're up here, and let's find out what size they are and whether or not they're biting. So you guys hang with me. Alright guys, there you go. That did not take long at all. There's definitely still crappie in the creek, and they are nice, pretty crappie too. Alright guys, after a lot of messing and a lot of frustration and aggravation, another big old nice slab creek crappie. I finally got my Garmin a little better, but I still have a big blind spot where that ghost tree is. But once I got my noiser jacked on high, I had to turn my gain up to about 70, 77, somewhere in that range. But I got a picture better, good enough that I can fish other than the blind spot that I've got. So hang with me, we'll see if we can catch another one of these big old crappie. Go guys, another big old giant stud pre-spawn creek crappie. Look at there. Tell you what, this water temp has dropped down to 47 degrees, and these fish are hard to catch. Alright guys, another big old giant stud crappie out of the creek, but let me tell you what. I basically had to catch him blind because my live scope is shot. I have pretty much no picture out to 10 to 12 feet where the ghost tree is. Everything back towards the boat from there, completely gone. Just can't hardly see anything. I can see my jig a little bit. I can see the fish just a little bit. It's just horrible, guys. I don't know. We'll call Garmin and see what they can do, but you know, it's frustrating, and it's gonna be tough until I get it fixed, if I can get it fixed. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something today. And as you can see, you can catch some big old crappie out here on Lake Talquin. If you like catching just stud crappie, Lake Talquin is the place to come here in North Florida. And guys, if you hadn't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. You know, one of the big differences between my channel and a lot of other people's channels is, you know, not only will I show you how to do it and what to do it with and give you good advice, but also tell you where. Today I caught my big fish this morning, first thing, just right out in front of Williams Landing in the river channel. And then when that wind got up, I came up here in the little river, and I'm catching fish in the little river. So guys, you know, if you hadn't, subscribe and like my channel, and we'll see you on the water next weekend.